Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and in this video tutorial I have this awesome fun fold for you that I'm calling the Hexagon Twist Pocket Card. Obviously it looks like a hexagon. This will fit in one of our medium envelopes, so it's a great size, and let me show you how this works. I'm going to slide off the ribbon belly band there, and it's going to twist to reveal 3 pockets. Now this will also fit a gift card or gift cards, but it is a really cool pocket card. It's got 3 great pockets that, again, you can add a gift card or a little note card. Really cool thing to give to someone else. So let me show you how to make this. We're starting with a piece of blushing bride cardstock that measures 8 1/8 by 8 1/4. And along the 8 1/8 inch side, we're going to score this at 1/2 inch, 2 7/8, 5 1/4, and 7 5/8. I'm going to rotate it, and along the 8 1/4 inch side, we're going to score this at 4 1/8. Now, bringing in the template, we're going to be doing some diagonal score lines. This is how the score lines will look when we're done, but we actually want to flip the cardstock. So we're on the back side, or the opposite side we just scored on. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to kind of show you on the template here, because now we're looking at the back side. We're going to score. We're not going to touch the 1/2 inch sides on either side, but we're going to score from this upper corner diagonally down through this intersection of score lines and end in this lower right corner. So we're basically slicing these 2 opposite rectangles in half diagonally. We're going to repeat the same thing from this corner diagonally down to this corner. Now on my Simply Scored, I've added a Sharpie line at the 6-inch mark. You can also do this on your paper trimmer as well. You just want to line up the starting and stopping points. So that top score line here, the bottom score line down here, which I realize I'm off the screen there, but I'm going to go ahead and score on the diagonal. This is just because we're going to be folding in the opposite direction when we do these diagonal folds. I'm just going to shift over one, line up those score lines, and score. So now what you'll see is we've got diagonal score lines going right through these rectangle sections. If I flip it over, now it's going to look like our template. Okay, next I'm going to fold and burnish on all the score lines that are vertical and horizontal, so not the diagonal score lines yet. And we're going to fold the diagonal score lines opposite. That's why we scored on the opposite side. So what you'll have are the diagonal score lines are now valley folds, and the vertical and horizontal score lines are mountain folds. Now bringing the template back here, we are going to remove the upper left 1/2 inch section and the lower right 1/2 inch section. I'm just going to grab my paper snips and cut up this first vertical score line and stopping at that first horizontal score line. And then we're going to remove this. I'm also going to come in and miter or notch on the tab that we're leaving behind, like so. Now you can just rotate it 180 and repeat the same thing. This will be the opposite corner. Cutting up that vertical score line, stopping at the horizontal score line, remove it, and then notch this little side tab. So now what we have left matches our template. The next thing we're going to do is adhere the designer series paper. So I'm going to turn this sideways where we've got our tabs at the top and the bottom. And I've got 3 pieces of the hand-penned designer series paper, 1 piece that measures 2 1/4 by 4, and 2 pieces that measure 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. These 3 7/8 inch pieces we're going to cut on the diagonal. So bringing in the paper trimmer, this is a directional pattern paper, so I did cut it in landscape, and I want to cut from the upper left corner to the lower right corner on the diagonal. So go ahead and line up those corners here on the paper trimmer in the cutting groove. So cutting from the upper left to the lower right. Then we're going to end up with 2 pieces like so. We'll repeat the same thing with the other piece that's 3 7/8. So with this in this orientation with the tabs at the top and the bottom, we're going to adhere the 2 1/4 by 4 inch piece to this panel using liquid glue. And then we're going to grab the 2 pieces that are the lower left corner pieces, and we're going to adhere those here and here. And then these pieces we're going to adhere sort of upside down here and here. So those patterns are upside down and these patterns are right side up. All right, so those are done. Next, I'm going to grab tear and tape, and we're going to run that right along our tabs. And I'm going to go right up to the score line as opposed to the edge of the cardstock. Remove the backing with the Take Your Pick tool. And now I'm going to turn it this way and flip it over. We're actually going to fold it in half, but we want to tuck in these tabs before we fold it in half and press it down flat. There we go. Now your Hexagon twist pocket card is going to fold into place. Now it might fight you just a little bit. If you folded the score lines in the right orientation, it should start to go in there much easier. And again, as you sort of train your cardstock, it's just going to keep doing that. How cool is this? I love the way that this looks. Let's create the little pocket cards. I've got 3 pieces of Misty Moonlight that measure 2 1/4 by 4. And 3 pieces of basic white that measure 2 by 3 3/4. Now we're going to stamp these using the hand penned petals stamp set. I love these watercolor flowers. We're going to use Pool Party, Highland Heather, and Blushing Bride. And I'm grabbing a piece of grid paper over here to do some stamping off. All right, so the Pool Party is pretty light. We don't need to stamp off this color, but I'm going to stamp it with this flower in the lower right corner for a beautiful watercolor image. Highland Heather is a nice and juicy ink pad, so I'm actually going to stamp that one off. Like so. Another pretty one. And then with Blushing Bride, we're going to stamp this one off as well. I'm actually going to stamp 2 flowers, one in the lower right corner and one in the upper left. Like so. Now we're going to adhere these to the Misty Moonlight panels with liquid glue. All right, so now you've got lots of real estate to write something to the recipient, or you can replace one of these with a gift card. I would keep the panel that measures 2 1/4 by 4 and maybe stick a gift card to it with glue dots. But now we can slide these into our 3 pockets. The middle pocket's a little bit different. You're going to put it behind the right triangle, but in front of the left triangle. That will slip right in there, and then the back one. So when you go to close this, you may need to just situate that middle one a bit before you close it. Like so. How cool is that? I love this twist fold. All right, so let's decorate the front. Using the thanks sentiment from Hand Pen Petals, I'm going to stamp that in Tuxedo Memento Black ink. I'm going to punch that out using the double oval punch. And I've got a scrap of Misty Moonlight. I'll punch out the scalloped oval. We'll adhere those 2 together. I'm going to add a quick rhinestone to the bottom of the sentiment. A trio of dimensionals. We're going to pop that on the front of our card here. And then to hold our Hexagon twist pocket card together, I'm going to use this beautiful Highland Heather grosgrain ribbon that just has this stunning sparkle to it. So let's go ahead and tie a bow around the center here. I am going to use my reverse tweezers as my third hand and go ahead and tie a bow here. And there we have our Hexagon twist pocket card. I tucked that ribbon just a little bit behind that double oval punch sentiment. And I love the way this looks. That ribbon holds it sort of closed together. Again, it will fit inside one of our medium envelopes. And it's such a cool fancy fold card. So let me show you how that works again. So it's the whole twist and pockets. Love the way that looks. I cannot wait to see your version of this. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss my next video. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project measurements, details, and a picture of the template. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com, where I post projects every weekday to inspire you. And if you don't want to miss a thing, you can subscribe to receive blog updates via email, and you'll receive an email each time I publish a new post. You can shop with me anytime at thepaperpixie.com/shop. And if you're interested in a discount on your Stampin' Up! Purchases, the starter kit is the ultimate bundle, and it's a great way to fulfill your wish list for less. You can purchase the starter kit at thepaperpixie.com/join, and I'd love to welcome you to the Stampin' Up! Family and my team of Paper Pixies. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you'd like complimentary copies of our current catalogs, you can submit a catalog request with me at thepaperpixie.com/happymail. And if you give this project a try, I'd love to see what you made, so feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag #PaperPixie, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.